Good morning aspirants, welcome to daily newspaper analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss 5 important topics. The first topic about rabies and anthrax, the two diseases which are recently seen in the news, and these two are zoonotic diseases. We are going to discuss the basics about these diseases. The second topic is about Operation Sindoor, which is recently conducted by Indian Armed Forces, and what are the other important operations conducted by Indian military and by India. The third topic is about millets. What are their importance ecologically and also nutritionally. So we are going to discuss the basics about the millets. The fourth topic is about the accountability of judiciary regarding the recent remarks by Vice President. The fifth topic is about disclosing of assets by judges. Recently, the Supreme Court judges has disclosed their assets for public. So these are the 5 topics we are going to discuss in this video, and this is an announcement. All India UPSC mock test for UPSC Prelims 2025 is going to be conducted by Shankar IAS Academy. The first mock test has been over on 4th May, the next test on 11th May, and another test on 18th May. So interested aspirants can use it. Now let us get into the discussion. Now look at these two articles. It is about rabies and anthrax. See, in Kerala recently 3 children have died due to rabies despite they are administered with rabies vaccines. So this happened in Kerala. And look at the similar news, anthrax outbreaks in Thailand. So there is a recent death about anthrax in Thailand, and the government has declared an anthrax outbreak to the tourist. So this is a health issue warning by Thailand government, and this is a health issue in our nearby state Kerala. So these are the 2 important zoonotic diseases which appeared in news recently, and let us discuss about this rabies and anthrax. Now firstly about rabies. See, rabies is mainly caused by the bite of infected dogs. So 99% of cases in India is caused by dogs. Even the cats and wild bats can also transmit rabies, but most of the cases are caused by the infected dogs. This is a viral disease and it is caused by rabies virus, which belongs to Raboviridae family. And the anthrax, compared to this, anthrax is a bacterial disease. So we have to note which is a viral disease and which is a bacterial disease. There is no proper cure for rabies, but there are antibodies and vaccines which should be administered within a time frame, because the vaccines cannot be effective once the symptoms start to appear. So rabies vaccine has to be administered within a particular period of time after the infection. If the infection starts to spread, which means a virus, if the virus has affected the central nervous system, then the vaccine cannot perform their function. So this is why 3 children recently died in Kerala, even though they are administered with rabies vaccine. This is because the virus has already affected their central nervous system before the vaccine or antibody starts to work. So the public has outraged about this rabies vaccination. So there is no problem about the vaccines or antibodies. It has to be administered in a timely manner. And this is a zoonotic disease, which means it origins from animals and get transferred to the humans. So the diseases which are transferred from animals to humans are called zoonotic disease, and anthrax is also a zoonotic disease. So the main source of this disease is dogs, and in India 95% of cases are transmitted from the dogs. So this is the basics about rabies. Now look at this anthrax disease. This anthrax is caused by Bacillus anthracis. It is a spore forming bacteria and it lives in mainly soil. So from soil it gets transmitted to the animals like cattle and other wild animals, and from the animals it gets transmitted to the humans. So it mainly affects animals, but rarely it can also affect the humans. So there is a recent case in Thailand, death due to anthrax virus, anthrax bacteria. So anthrax can be treated with antibiotics and it is a treatable disease. Anthrax vaccine is also available, and anthrax vaccine is not necessarily administered for everyone, but it should be given to the animals and high risk individuals. High risk individuals means the individuals who are working in the laboratories or veterinary clinics, etc. So there is also vaccine for this anthrax, and anthrax is a curable disease. It is also zoonotic disease like rabies. So the main source of this anthrax is cattle, sheep, goats and other domesticated animals which contacts this disease through skin or inhaling the bacterium from the soil. Now look at this MCQ. With reference to Mission Indradhanush, consider the following statements. It aims to increase the full immunization coverage of children and pregnant women in India. Yes, the statement is correct. It is implemented by Ministry of Women and Child Development. No, the statement is incorrect because it is implemented by Ministry of Health. The third statement says intensified Mission Indradhanush focus on areas with low immunization coverage. Yes, the statement is correct. So it is an upgraded form of Mission Indradhanush, that is intensified Mission Indradhanush, and it focuses on the regions with low immunization coverage. So which of the following statements, which of the statements are correct means the 1 and 3 are correct, the option 2, statement 2 is incorrect. So the correct answer is option B, 1 and 3 only. So with this, let us wind up the discussion and move to the next news article. Now look at this news. Indian armed forces have conducted Operation Sindoor on Pakistan. This operation is conducted to neutralize the terrorist camps along the India-Pakistan border, and this operation is seen as a revenge for Pahalgam terror attack which was recently happened in Jammu and Kashmir. And in Pahalgam terror attack, many Indian tourists were killed by the Pakistani terrorists, and Indian armed forces have retaliated through this Operation Sindoor. Totally 9 terrorist camps were targeted and neutralized through this Operation Sindoor. Let us discuss about these basics of this terrorist organizations which were involved in this Operation Sindoor. First, about the Jaish-e-Mohammed. It was founded in 2000 by Masood Azhar, and it was mainly a Pakistan-based terrorist organization. It was designated as a terrorist organization by United Nations, by USA and by India. It conducted major terror attacks like 2001 Indian Parliament attack, 2016 Uri attack, 2019 Pulwama attack. So India has retaliated for these attacks through many operations, and recently Operation Sindoor also targeted the terrorist camps of this Jaish-e-Mohammed. So this map shows the 9 terrorist camps along the India-Pakistan border which were targeted through the Operation Sindoor. The next important terrorist organization is Lashkar-e-Taiba. It was founded in late 1980s and it was mainly active in Pakistan. It is responsible for the 2008 Mumbai attacks. The next organization is Hizbul Mujahideen. This organization is mainly active in Jammu and Kashmir, and this Hizbul Mujahideen is responsible for 2000 Amarnath pilgrimage massacre. So these 3 terrorist organization camps were targeted by Operation Sindoor. Now this is a list of table containing the important operations which were conducted by India. The last 3 operations given here are the military operations conducted against Pakistan. So go through it. Operation Smiling Buddha and Operation Shakti is about India's first and second nuclear test. Operation Maitri is about the humanitarian assistance to Nepal after 2015 earthquake. Operation Ganga is about the rescue of Indians from Ukraine after the Ukraine-Russia war outbreak in 2022. Operation Devi Shakti is about the excavation of Indians from Taliban-controlled Afghanistan after the Taliban took over the control of Afghanistan. So Operation Devi Shakti is related to Afghanistan. Do not confuse the Vaccine Maitri program with the Operation Maitri. Operation Maitri is specifically about the humanitarian assistance given to Nepal by India. And this Operation Bandar, Operation Meghdut and Operation Prakaram are related to the Indian military operation against Pakistan. Operation Bandar is about the surgical strike after the Pulwama attacks. So it is a surgical strike after Pulwama attacks, and it is conducted on Jaish-e-Mohammed camps in Balkot in Pakistan. So this Operation Bandar is a retaliation for Pulwama attacks. Operation Meghdut is a military operation for the capture of Siachen Glacier from Pakistan in 1984, and Operation Prakaram is a strategic mobilization of Indian troops along the India-Pakistan border after 2001 Parliament attack. So this Operation Bandar, Operation Meghdut and Operation Prakaram are three important military operations conducted against the Pakistan. So these are some of the important operations of India. Now look at this MCQ. Operation Brahma, recently seen in the news, is related to. The correct answer is option C, humanitarian assistance given to Myanmar. So with this, let us conclude the discussion and move to the next news article. Now look at this article. It talks about the importance of millets. So how millet cultivation is important for India and how it can transform the Indian agriculture. So what are the problems with the current policies regarding millets? So this is what discussed in this news article. So we are going to discuss about the benefits and importance of millets regarding the nutritional benefits and also the environmental benefits, and how millet cultivation is better than the paddy cultivation. So now let us get into the discussion. First, let us see what are the current problems with the agricultural policy related to millets. Firstly, about subsidies. There are improper and skewed subsidies related to paddy and millets. There are more subsidies and support for paddy compared to millets. Millets gets very less subsidies and only few millets get subsidies. So this discourages farmers from millet cultivation. So this is a major problem. Next one is overproduction of paddy. See, in the regions like Punjab, Haryana, Andhra, Telangana and Tamil Nadu, there is a overproduction and over cultivation of paddy, and there is less importance given to millet cultivation. So this leads to environmental degradation because the paddy crops require more water, they require more pesticides and fertilizers, and they also release methane gas. So over cultivation of paddy leads to environmental degradation. The next one is lack of MSP and assured procurement for millets. So the FCI, which is Food Corporation of India, is involved in more procurement of paddy and wheat compared to millets. So there is very less procurement of millets compared to these major crops like paddy and wheat. So there is also less procurement, and MSP is also not properly given for all the millets. And there is also negligible procurement of millets in the year 2022 to 2023. So this lack of procurement, lack of MSP, over importance given to paddy and wheat, and less subsidies for millets. So all these factors discourage farmers from millet cultivation. But millet cultivation is environmentally beneficial and nutritionally beneficial for India. Now let us discuss about these benefits. Firstly, about the environmental benefits of millets. See, they require very less water for cultivation. So millets can be cultivated in drought prone regions and also in arid zones because they do not require much water like paddy. So paddy crop, their fields have to be flooded with water for the paddy cultivation. But millets can thrive in drought prone regions because they require very less water for their cultivation. The next important benefit is low carbon footprint, which means the millet cultivation requires very less inputs for their cultivation, like they require less fertilizer, they require less insecticides or pesticides. So the carbon footprint for millet cultivation is very less. The next one is soil health protection. See, millets have deeper root system which go deeper into the soil. So these deep root system of millets help to prevent the soil erosion, and they also manage the soil degradation and desertification. So millets are originally cultivated in arid regions where the desertification is more. So these millet crops prevent this desertification by preventing the soil erosion. This is because of the deeper root system of millets, and they have deeper roots compared to paddy and wheat. So this is about the soil health protection of millets. The next one is climate resilience. Since millet require lesser water and lesser agricultural inputs, they play an important role in climate smart agriculture or climate resilient agriculture. So India is pursuing this climate resilient agriculture, and the government is also promoting this type of agriculture. So millet cultivation is the best way for climate resilient agriculture because the crops like paddy require more water, and they also release a large amount of greenhouse gases like methane, but millets do not release such gases in large amounts, and they are very beneficial for the environment by preserving the soil health and also reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. Next one is about biodiversity conservation and low input agriculture. So these are the important environmental benefits of millets. This is why Indian government has advocated for the importance of millets in United Nations, and with the efforts of Indian government, 2023 was declared as International Year of Millets. Now let us discuss about the nutritional benefits of the millets. See, millets are rich in dietary fiber, which means they have a rich amount of insoluble fiber, and it is very good for digestion. They are also high in protein content. Compared to the crops like paddy and wheat, which have more amount of carbohydrates, millets are rich in protein content. Next, they are gluten-free and easy to digest. Gluten-free crops like millets can aid in digestion, and they have higher nutrient absorption capacity. They are also packed with large micronutrients like iron, calcium, magnesium. Millets also have low glycemic index. Low glycemic index means it is good for diabetes patients because they release the glucose very slowly into the bloodstream. They do not spike the insulin levels in the blood. So this millet crops are very good for diabetes patient. As India has a huge burden of diabetes, this millet cultivation is very much essential for now. And now look at this comparison table between the millets and paddy. See, there is a overproduction of paddy in India, and this table proves why millet cultivation is better than paddy cultivation. In terms of water requirement, millet requires very low water. It requires only 70 to 80% less water compared to the paddy cultivation. Regarding the carbon footprint, it also uses a less amount of agricultural inputs like fertilizers and insecticides. Regarding the fertilizer use, it can grow with minimal inputs, and it can be grown organically. The soil, it promotes the soil health. As I already said, it has deeper root system which prevents the soil erosion and helps to fight the desertification. It is also suitable for climate resilient agriculture. Now look at this MCQ. Which of the following is also referred to as pseudo millet? The correct answer is option C, buckwheat. This buckwheat is not technically a millet, but it also has nutritional benefits and environmental benefits similar to millet. So it is often referred to as pseudo millet. Another crop called amaranth is also called as pseudo millet. So this buckwheat and amaranth are also called as pseudo millet. So with this, let us conclude the discussion and move to the next topic. Now look at this article, how judiciary maintains accountability. So this article is written in the context of recent remarks by Vice President about the judiciary. Vice President has said that judiciary is stepping into the works of legislatures, and judiciary is expressing its judicial overreach into the other parts of the government. So these remarks of Vice President has sparked controversy regarding the working of judiciary. So in this context only, this article about the accountability of judiciary is written, and we are going to discuss in the mains exam perspective. What is judicial overreach? So recently this term was seen in the news due to the remarks of Vice President, and judicial overreach means when judiciary steps into the functions of legislature or executive and makes orders or legislations, it means judicial overreach. There is another term called judicial activism, and we have to understand the difference between this judicial activism and judicial overreach. Judicial activism is when judiciary steps in to protect the fundamental rights or to make justice in a case, then it is called judicial activism. It is a positive nature, and it is very important for ensuring the justice. So it is seen as a positive action. On the other hand, the judicial overreach is a overstepping of judiciary into the powers and functions of other two organs, that is legislature and executive. So judicial overreach is seen as a negative action of judiciary. Now look at the constitutional provisions. Article 50 deals with the separation of powers, the separation of judiciary from executive and legislature. Article 32 and 226 provides the writ jurisdiction and gives power for Supreme Court and High Court to ensure the fundamental rights of citizen. So as per this article, judiciary serve as the guarantor of fundamental rights for the citizens. Article 141 deals with judiciary or Supreme Court making a law means it is applicable to all the court throughout the territory of India. And Article 142 means it says that any order passed by Supreme Court has the same effect as a parliamentary law and it is applicable to all. So it is for ensuring a complete justice. For example, Supreme Court used this Article 142 in Babri Masjid case to ensure the peaceful land transfer. So in rare cases or in extraordinary cases, judiciary steps into to provide the complete justice. So this is about Article 141 and 142. So these are the important constitutional provisions which gives powers to judiciary to provide justice in a case. Now, Vice President has remarked that judiciary is overstepping into the functions of executive and legislature, and he is warning about the judicial overreach. The judges are acting out of their governance areas, and their actions should be only rooted in the constitutional duty. So this is what the remarks made by Vice President. But the article we are discussing says that judiciary actually has accountability, and the Vice President remarks are contradictory to the claims of judiciary. So Article 32, 136 and 141, 142, they are clearly giving powers for the judiciary to do a complete justice or to ensure the rights of the citizen. So judiciary is working based on that articles only. So it is not going beyond the constitution. So judiciary is functioning within the boundary limits of the constitution. Next one is judicial restraint. Courts can only interrupt the laws, they cannot make new laws. So it is not taking away the function of parliament. Vice President has remarked that judiciary is acting as a super parliament, but judiciary is not creating any new legislations. They are just interrupting the laws and making some orders to do the justice for citizens or justice in a case. And judiciary is also open to public scrutiny and academic scrutiny, and now the judicial documents are made digitalized, so they are available to all and made transparency. So judiciary is actually accountable and they are functioning within the constitutional limits. And also there are institutional checks for judiciary and judges. Judges can be impeached through the legal process under Article 124, and Judges Inquiry Act of 1968 provides the procedure for removing the judges based on the misconduct. So there is a process of live streaming and digitalized documents of judgments. So this increased the transparency of judiciary. So these are some of the institutional checks, and judiciary is actually accountable. So this is in contradictory to the Vice President's remark of judiciary being not accountable and judiciary overstepping into the functions of government. So this is a mains question regarding this topic. Interested aspirants can use it. With this, let us conclude the discussion. Now look at this article. The Supreme Court has published the asset details of 21 judges. So far 21 judges of Supreme Court has declared their assets public, including the Chief Justice of India. So this is a major move regarding the transparency of judiciary. So there are recent remarks about judiciary being not transparent and not accountable. So this is an important step to ensure the transparency and accountability of judiciary. And as a first list, 21 judges of Supreme Court has disclosed their assets, and this is available in official website of Supreme Court. See, judges were originally not liable, or it is not mandatory for them to disclose their assets. But the elected representatives like MLAs and MPs have to disclose their assets before the public, that is before the elections, according to the Representation of People Act. But there is no such statutory or constitutional requirements for the judges to disclose their assets, because they are not elected by people and they are not public servants. And in fact, judiciary is an independent organization. So being an independent organ, judiciary is not liable to disclose their assets to the public. But now judiciary themselves, the judges themselves have come forward to disclose their assets to make judiciary more transparent and accountable. So this is about the news. Now we have come to the end of the discussion. If you like the video, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.